Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show with your host Shikama. Today I want to talk about a really serious topic. Why AAA games do not equal success when it comes to sandbox games. That's right, sandbox games fail when it comes to AAA online MMOs. Compared to all of the other MMOs that make millions and millions of dollars, or euros or whatever, or Chinese, whatever, yuan, AAA sandbox MMOs don't work. Let's compare to AAA sandbox PC single player games. They top the charts. They break records. GTA, Skyrim, Fallout, Minecraft, break records. Do you hear me? Break records. The same thing when it comes to MMOs, you don't even hear a peep out of it. What do you have? You have Mortal Online. You have a bunch of indie people trying to make these games, and they're horrible. So let's talk about why they're horrible. PvP and fairness. So a lot of these games, when they translate to MMOs, say, okay, to have a real experience with an open world sandbox game like GTA style, like Fallout style, like Skyrim style, we're going to have full loot PvP. And it doesn't actually really mean full loot PvP because they don't take what you're wearing. They don't take everything in your bags. They don't take your money. It's not really full loot, but it's pretty near full loot. Now, what's the problem? The problem is, the more full loot you get, the more likely it is that the person on the receiving end of this is going to have to delete that character entirely and start all over again. Now, if you're trying to appease the people who say, this is not realistic, we have to have full loot PvP, don't you know? Well, the thing is, full loot PvP, and the whole reason we don't have full loot PvP going around in the real world, and the why GTA doesn't work in the real world, is because police are everywhere and they will beat you in the head, shoot you in the back if you're black, and take you to jail and throw you in there until you rot. Until some guy named Leon shows you why full loot PvP is a bad idea. That's reality. 10 guys, level 50, ganking some level 20 guy who just came off of the trade of his life, walked across an ocean to deliver bananas to the starving people of Suncoast Island and got paid in cigars and gold. That's not reality. First of all, you don't have a level 50 guy. You can have a machine gun in real life, but it's actually likely if that you have this trader who just delivered bananas in real life, he's probably going to be packing too and shoot you in the face. Oh, you can't set up your machine gun fast enough? Here's a Desert Eagle for your forehead. Have a nice day. That's why it doesn't happen in reality. So, if you're going to have a game that has full loot PvP, first of all, there needs to be consequences. So the name of the word of the day is consequences. If you're going to have full loot PvP, then there better be consequences to that. What do you have in ArcAge? You have footprints, and then the person gets timed out for 14 minutes. Timed out? He murdered a person. He's timed out for 14 minutes? So reality, it's the company weighing the pros and cons of, do we offer full loot PvP and appease those people, or do we offer the other person some sort of retaliation? And the retaliation is he goes to jail, which means he can't chat or something like that. I don't think he actually goes into a jail. I think he can't chat for 14 minutes. Big whoop. You don't have to chat. You don't have to chat at all in playing the video game. Some people turn off all the tabs, all of the chats. Are they in timeout? No, they just don't care about other people. If they want to say something to somebody, they will talk in guild chat if they're in a guild, or they'll whisper directly to somebody, or they'll just talk locally. And people talk locally all the time if you have a community for it. Here's the deal, and this is why Sandbox AAA is unsuccessful. You're not appeasing the people, the millions of people who play what? Farmland on Facebook, single player Minecraft, single player Skyrim. Obviously, Sandbox is overwhelmingly popular. But when it comes to an MMO, not so much. MMO Sandbox is completely dead. It doesn't make money. It doesn't even pay for the servers. Those people are asking for money all the time. Money to stay open. We're not even talking about profit. We're talking about money to stay open. As much as people hate World of Warcraft doesn't have to ask for anything. And they are still number one. Still. To this day. Oh, but that game is done down and blah, blah, blah. You know what? The casual gamer is king. If you can offer Sandbox to a casual gamer, you have won. I mean, translating Skyrim directly to an MMO, and I'm not talking about that Elder Scrolls Online crap. That stuff is horrible. And so many fanboys say, "Oh, well, they have millions of dollars." It's not Sandbox, first of all. It's nothing that I'm even talking about. It is not Skyrim. It is not Elder Scrolls. It is some Japanese or Korean MMO translated with a bunch of Elder Scrolls names attached to them. And doesn't even have the lore. Nothing. And I don't want to hear fanboys talk, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking." Whatever. Did it break records? No. Did GTA break records? Yeah. Did Skyrim break records? Yeah. Farmland, one of the most successful sandbox games on Facebook? Yeah. You have little old ladies playing Facebook who don't play games. Don't play games at all. You ask them to play a game, they'd be like, "I don't play games." But you play Farmland. Farmland is different. And that's what I'm here to talk about. So, the next thing is crafting. And here's why it doesn't translate into these MMOs. When you have Skyrim, or if you have, Skyrim is, okay, I want to build a house. You want to build a house? Okay, here's what you do. Give me 10 gold. 10 gold? Psh, nothing. I need, then you need to go over and see this guy over here, and he'll give you a deed to a plot of land. Okay. And here's the problem. In ArcAge, you want to build a house on land inside of the actual game? Well, that's too bad. I know you paid Patreon $50, $100, or whatever to be a subscriber every month, and that gives you the exclusive right, because the free-to-play don't get land at all. That gives you the option of buying land. Okay, I'm going to buy some land. Oh, there is no land available. You can't plant your farm everywhere in ArcAge. You can't build your house everywhere. In fact, you can't even build a certain type of house in the places designated for players, because you have luxury only parts and you have cheap parts. So even the people who pay money to subscribe don't have the option of actually building a house because there's no land available. Let's put that aside. Let's go over to Eve. That is a just monstrous, horrible crafting system. You have to literally get the help of an entire corporation of players to build a quote unquote starship. It's ridiculous. So if that game totally dies out, you can't play it at all. You cannot play it. And the learning curve is so steep that a lot of people just give up on the first day. Actually paid money, give up on the first day because they can't even figure it out. Let's say you figured it out, but you want to make something, but you are new to the game. All the old players are not going to help you because they don't need you. They've got their 20, 30, 50 people making their starship or whatever. They don't need you. So you are now a new player coming into this old game, and there's not other new players coming in every hour, every minute, like in other games. World of Warcraft still has brand new people coming to it. You know, people say, well, let me just check this out. They still have brand new people. And you know what? You hit the ground running when you start that game. But that's a Care Bear, dumbed down, casual game. Yeah, and they're successful at it. Hugely successful. They make millions a minute. A minute. How about that? Eve? How much does Eve make? Not so much. How much does Mortal Online make? Not so much. The next thing is story. Skyrim is full of lore. Fallout is full of lore. As you go through the game, I mean, it just naturally comes to you. You know the lingo, you know the history, you know everything that's gone on before in the game is narrated to you beautifully. The story just unfolds right before your eyes. GTA, the story literally, they just hit you. Bam, bam, bam. Story, narration. And you're 10 minutes into the game. You already know, he came over from Russia or Poland or whatever on the boat. His cousin said he had a house, had a mansion. And in fact, it was a roach infested little 1-bedroom apartment on the Lower East Side. 10 minutes into the game, you already know all of that. Skyrim, you know, you're about to be beheaded. You already know what happened. The dragon came over there, blah, blah, blah. And then you're talking in front of the king. 10 minutes later, you know, about a good 20 things about the game. And nobody said, here, read this. I mean, it just unfolds. When you have Sandbox MMOs, there is no story. Nothing. Hi, welcome. Watch out for PvP. No wonder people PvP. They're bored. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to be engaged about. There's no engagement. There's no immersion whatsoever. Hi, we have these new colors that we've rearranged for your entertainment. Watch out for PvP. That's your story? To this, I just uninstalled Mortal Online. I have no idea what it's quote unquote about. It's just craft this, do this, practice this. Read this book for 10 days. Read this book for 10 days. Who takes 10 days to read a book? I mean, if it's a page turner, you translate that into hours. How many hours did it take you to read that book? Just a few hours. People literally, what's the Harry Potter series? The Wheel of Time series would be done with the book in a few hours after it hit the stores. You know, they stood in line all night, and by noon they've read the entire book. Done. And this game says, oh no, it's going to take you a week to read this book. That's going to give you a 1% boost to magic. There's no story. There's nothing to be engaged about. You literally, it's like a job. It's like a job. There's no like, oh, I played Mortal Online, or I played this other game, and I was so immersed in the lore. Wait a minute, there is no lore. What did you do? I crafted. I chopped down a tree all day long. What do you mean you chopped down a tree? I chopped down a tree. You don't chop down a tree in real life. Why would you chop down a tree in a game? How's that fun? Come to think about it, it's not fun. Exploration. You can't explore because of PvP. Literally, people sit and wait to jump newbies trying to explore the game. Oh, and some of the new games don't even give you exploration XP. They don't give you achievements or nothing like that. All the stuff that the casual games get right. You've explored Lone Mountain. Boom! Lone Mountain achievement. No, not Sandbox MMOs. No, who cares? That was one thing that I found missing in Arcade. Never. Welcome to Simi Valley. No XP, no exploration, and there's no fog of war. They're just all like, here's the map. You've been living here 18 years, right? Your character knows everything. There's no fog of war. And since it's an MMO, it doesn't even attract you to travel to new places. Why? Because Here are the level 10 monsters. Here are the level 20 monsters. Here are the level 30 monsters. Here are the level 40 monsters. Here are the level 50 monsters. Why would you go exploring? Because you're going to get, if the PvP people don't get you, the mobs are going to kill you. Because that's a level 20 zone. That's a level 30 zone. And you're level 10. And then there's the simulation part, which I've already touched upon. A lot of the sandbox game is basically a simulation game, but it's like a work simulation game. Oh, you're in medieval times? Okay, build this cart. Oh, you're in the future? Okay, build this rocket ship. That's it. That's it. That's the whole game. There's nothing else to the game. There's nothing like, I'm creating a game and I'm going to have some simulation, sandbox, blah, blah, all that sort of stuff, right? But the whole idea isn't that I'm going to practice my hand of flame for 20 hours and that's it. No, I'm going to practice my hand of flame for 20 hours because we're going to go look at the undead section of the catacombs to search for this book that we're then going to present to the king. And I know that hand of flame is really good against undead. It's a means to an end, not an end. And a lot of these sandbox MMOs, that is the end. The entire simulation part of it is the end. Ta-da! You built a house. Ta-da! It's a really big house. Ta-da! You can make a bigger house. Ta-da! That's why they're a failure. They could learn from the casual games. They really could. They could learn from the casual players. They could survey what casual players really like. Casual players, millions of people buy sandbox single player games. Millions of people do not buy MMO sandbox games. And this is why. Thank you for watching the Skyrim and Minecraft show.
An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.